مشاهدينا في كل مكان، احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعادة السفيرة ليونورا رويدا سفيرة دولة المكسيك لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. في لقائنا اليوم هنتحدث عن العلاقات المصرية المكسيكية، وهنتحدث أيضا عن أبرز ما يتعلق بالتبادل التجاري والاستثمارات المستقبلية والحالية بين الدولتين. لو عايزين تعرفوا أكتر تابعوا معنا هذا اللقاء.
Mexico is a big country, territorial. We are we double the territory of Egypt. Mm-hmm. We are 128 million people, and we have 32 states. Let's say departments, like you manage departments, we have 32 states. We are a very diverse cultural mosaic of people, you know, like the Egyptian, yeah. Mexican food is very, very delicious and very diverse, a mix of the different traditions that we have. Probably one of the main things that we have in cuisine is that we are the cradle of the maize, the corn, mm-hmm. and the many vegetables and legumes, like the tomato, probably one characteristic. And in Mexico, well, we have more than 60 different kinds of chiles. Mm-hmm. And our strongest field is the manufacture. We are one of the most important manufacturing countries in the world. Mm-hmm. That's why it's our most important. Well, it's a very, very big market, the fusion market. It's paradoxically because I have to recognize that unfortunately some inner cities like Mexico City, mm-hmm. we don't consume.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، مرة تانية بيسعدنا أن يكون في ضيافتنا اليوم سعادة السفيرة ليونورا رويدا سفيرة دولة المكسيك لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. Your Excellency, one more time, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, sir.
In this timing or this interview, please allow me to talk more about the relations between Egypt and Mexico. I will start about the history of these relations. Can you give us a hint about it?
Thank you, Sarah, for that very important question. The relations between Mexico and Egypt, we can find some of the hints. In 1905, when we established a consulate, honorary consulate, here in Egypt that has to deal with the Mexican boats that go through the
Suez
Canal.
Yes.
Exactly. But the formalization of the relations came in 1958, mm-hmm. when we established embassies, both of us, mm-hmm. Egypt and Mexico in 1960, the same like Mexico and Egypt 1960. We established relations formally in 1958, and with the embassies, establishment of the embassies in 1960. Mm-hmm. After that, we have had a very good, excellent relation with the growing. We have the visit to Egypt of two presidents. One of them was President Echeverria, that met with President Anwar el-Sadat in '65. Actually, there is a picture that I saw of them, both of them, at the Museum of the Civilizations. Mm-hmm. And another one in the Museum of Alexandria. Mm-hmm. They're precisely in the area where, it was a library, mm-hmm. the Library of Alexandria, where they have this part regarding the President Sadat. Mm-hmm. No, so there is a picture of President Echeverria with President Sadat. Visit also another president of Mexico, President Lopez Portillo, that came here also, and also it was with President Sadat. Since then also we have had a very rich a relation in all levels of the interaction between the two countries.
Talking about this historical relations, as Your Excellency just mentioned, from 1905, it makes me wonder how the volume of trading in between the two countries become from this time until now.
Well, it has been a difficult, the trade between the two countries has been a little bit difficult because of the distance and many other factors. It is a very modest trade up to now. Is around almost $400 million. But there is a room, there is a lot of potential that we can take advantage of. So we are ready to talk with the authorities and with many trade businesses in Mexico, in Egypt, to improve that trade.
Your Excellency, can you tell us more about the volume of investment between Egypt and Mexico?
Well, it's still not as we would like to be, but there is a lot of opportunities. Actually, the investment has been growing very fast and in a good amount. I cannot exactly tell you exactly the amount, but the diversification of the investment has been in the area, for instance, of the construction, of the water treatment, of the oil, in some areas of oil and gas.
Okay.
And we are entertaining area. So we are looking for having more in the area, for instance, of hospitality. I think that the relation of the industry of hospitality will be very interesting. Both countries. We have a lot of potential, both countries, to exchange experiences in that area. Being the tourism a very important sector for Egypt as well as in Mexico.
Is there any cooperation in the field of tourism between Egypt and Mexico?
Well, precisely tomorrow I have a meeting with the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities to see how we can improve or establish areas of cooperation for us to work together in that. You know that we have the flow of Mexicans coming as tourists to Egypt has been growing very significantly. We have had, for instance, in 2023, almost 25,000 tourists coming to Egypt. Unfortunately, not the same number coming back of tourists, Egyptian tourists to Mexico. Is just about 3,400, more or less, of Egyptians going to Mexico. So we hope that all Egyptians would like to go to Mexico to see how interesting country Mexico is and how many similarities we have. You will feel at home because we have many similarities even in the physical thing. You will be amazed how Mexicans will talk to you in Spanish because they will think you are.
Once you mentioned or talked about the similarity, it takes me to the field of cultural cooperation between the two countries. Are there big cultural cooperation that really makes it clear to the people how much there is similarity between Egypt or the Egyptian and the Mexican people?
Well, like other fields, we have also a lot of potential for this field to take advantage of because similarities, for instance, Egypt and Mexico are the countries with pyramids, although Egyptians are much more older than ours. Yours goes beyond 2500 BC. Ours are just 200 BC and after. But still, both areas of the pyramids and the old civilizations, the development of old civilizations is very important. The similarities, for instance, going to the Museum of Civilizations, there is a part where you have this presentation of textiles, no, and jewelry of the antique Egyptians, and it's amazing when I saw the earrings that they used to have, to use, gold, exactly like we manage in Mexico. I still thought, oh, they look like my earrings. Not gold, similar to gold, yes, but the same earrings, similar. We have this flavor for the same things.
I think the family structure, it's similar also between Mexico and Egypt. Yani in Mexico and in Egypt, here the family is the base, and it's something very important to communicate or for life. The family is number one. I think something also, this is something also in common between Egypt and Mexico.
Exactly. We have the same values, family values in that sense, values and principles, no, on which families are based. For us also, like in Egypt, it's another similarity. We have the nucleus, the central
bonds.
part, the bonds of the family, the father, the mother, the kids, and then the parents, the grandparents, the grandmothers, no, all together, and very close relations,
the family gathering,
links.
and yes,
exactly. So you will find that similar, no? And actually, we were talking about food. At some point, we also like and enjoy food. Actually, business, for instance, to make business with Mexicans, you have to deal with the business, talk about business, about money, but also it's important to know families. The family link between one business person to another business person is important for us.
Excellency, what can we say about the field of agriculture, the cooperation in between Egypt and Mexico? Is there any cooperation in this field especially?
We are advancing on that. Actually, I hope soon we could sign an agreement between the two countries in the area of agriculture. I think this year we will have it signed, and from that we can work together in a more deepen the relation, agro-industrial relation between our two countries. So I'm very happy to say that we are in the good track and the good road for us to improve the relation in the agro-industry field.
What can you say, Your Excellency, about the Mexican-Egyptian Cooperation Council? What did they do until now, and what's the aims in the future they aim to do in between the relations, for the relation between the two countries?
Well, I think that a very important point to improve will be to establish the necessary contact between the Mexican business community with the Egyptian business community. We need more exchange between them, having established already the necessary administrative infrastructure. It means the agreements and all that. Now need the trips. For business Egyptians to go to Mexico, Mexican business to come to Mexico, and that's what I plan to promote more, the encounters, this business to B2B formula for them to know and to promote business between the two countries.
And Your Excellency already mentioned that there is a promising field that we need to enter to have more investment in the field, in those fields in between the two countries. What about the health field?
The health field is another area of opportunity. We have an interesting relation, for instance, in the area of vaccines, the animal vaccines. And we could improve that, being two great civilizations with also similarities in the use, for instance, of traditional health in herbs, for instance, based in herbs, and use of herbs. We can find, I think, the way to get together all those exchange of knowledge, of experiences, of medical and health, pharmaceutical industry, based on traditional herbs or chemicals also, but based on that very traditional ways of getting health without getting, the medications,
chemicals
and all that. So,
what about the field of education? Is there any cooperation in the field of education and scholarships or something like this?
Well, we are working on that. We are working on that because both countries, that's another similarity, have constrained budgets because of the situation, international situation, sometimes internal conditions, and unfortunately, now we have constrained some of the scholarships that we have. But I think that we are going to have in the near future a necessary budget to have offer some scholarships for mainly, for instance, to study doctorates or higher studies. In Mexico and also here in Egypt.
That's good.
I would like to say that we have a mission of archaeological mission here in Egypt. That has been a great thing in Mexico because many Mexicans are getting into the Egyptology studies and they would love to come to Mexico. I told you about the number of Mexicans that come here to Egypt, tourism, and not necessarily for beach, the beaches, because we have a lot of them in Mexico.
Yes.
But they come precisely to discover Egypt in the area of archaeology.
Yeah.
So archaeology is a very, very important area in which we can both coincide, as we have also a lot of archaeologists work in Mexico. So this is, in terms of education, a very important area. The tourism area also, in which we could work on that.
Yeah, and for the tourism area, please allow me to ask you, I know that your clients have been here for just 4 months, maybe it's not a long time or long term, but did you go in any tourist destination here in Egypt and you have a favorite destination? Or you are aiming to have a certain destination to go and see in your agenda or in your plan, future plan?
Well, let me tell you that first of all, I have been in Egypt making a tourist trip. Actually, before I was told I was coming to Egypt, and it was so exciting that I went just to Luxor to Abu Simbel, and I plan to go now with more knowledge of what I am going to find there. I mean to visit the Mexican archaeological mission that we have there. Close to Luxor, close to the Luxor, a Tebana tomb area, 39, I think is Tebana 39 or something like that. Excuse me, I don't exactly know the point, but I have visited already in these 4 months that I have been here, wonderful places, the White Desert. I was already in the White Desert. I was in Fayum. I went to the Sogna sauna area. A little bit cold because it was already winter and I love warm. So I am waiting for summer to enjoy the marvelous beaches. I miss
Or you,
the sun.
Your Excellency, as you mentioned, you can go to Luxor and Aswan because now they are very good. The weather over there is very good. It's not as cold as we have here in the capital in Cairo. One more thing, and my last question, did you try, Your Excellency, the Egyptian cuisine, and what is your favorite dish in it?
Of course, I can. Well, you know, I remember my tortillas with your tortillas. That is called the
Fatir? The fatir. Fatir.
See, exactly. I eat them like with a kebab, no? I eat them with the meat
cheese,
or something.
Cheese or
exactly.
honey or things like this.
Your cheese, your honey. I finished the bottles of your honey. I love it. Actually, instead of sugar, I eat the honey. I put honey
to sweet your drinks.
My coffee. I put sugar. And the drinks also. So I am very glad to have that. The olives that you have also, I finish them very quickly.
Yeah, we have olives in Mars and in places like this, yes, of course.
Yes, and of course I have been trying everything of your cuisine, and I have found also that sometimes there is a spicy thing. Spicy food that you have sometimes.
Spices, yes.
Exactly. So I love that.
مرة تانية بنشكر سعادة السفيرة ليونورا رويدا سفيرة دولة المكسيك لدى جمهورية مصر العربية، وتحدثنا مع سعادة السفيرة في حلقة اليوم عن العلاقات المصرية المكسيكية، كما تحدثنا عن مجلس الأعمال المصري المكسيكي، وتحدثنا عن أبرز أوجه التعاون في مجال التجارة والاستثمار بالإضافة للسياحة وغيرها من الموضوعات الهامة. بتمنى أن تكون الموضوعات والمعلومات اللي أخدتوها من حلقة النهاردة مفيدة ليكم، وأشوفكم على خير في حلقة قادمة، وإلى اللقاء.